Buenas tardes, Moody.
Welcome back. As I say, fresh from a live webinar.
Yeah.
But not just you and Pedro in your office there. It was at the Quesada office.
Right? That's correct. Yeah, we tried to open up the conversation about the TI renewals and all the ins and outs that people are going through now. We did it personally. We went with Expats in Spain as well with Richard Hill. And we had on the floor as well Robert Lorraine, Gita from the town hall in Heredia as well. She came just to talk about the situation with the TI renewals and the problem with the appointments, as you know.
Yes, because we had this come up. It's come that time where they'll start coming in, people that had it for 5 years from Brexit. Or they could. When did they start the TI come in? 2019 or 2020?
Well, actually, depends on people when they start swapping into the TI.
Yeah, but to the actual cut, when it was announced and we were able to get them, it was around...
I think most of the people was 2020.
Yeah.
6 months from the 2020. So probably I could tell you from June until December 2020. And then we got people in 2021 still doing January, February, March.
So they've started to come up now 5 years on.
Yeah. You couldn't believe it's 5 years already after Brexit, isn't it?
Yeah. Somehow, as I say, I've got a 10-year one, but I know people that are having to renew at the moment.
Yeah.
And we've done, as I say, we've done this. It's on our YouTube channel. We did quite a little special with yourself, which we filmed. But yeah, and they don't remind you. They don't send you a reminder. Just so you've just got to check the date on it yourself. Make sure it hasn't expired.
Yeah.
If it has, you've got a little bit of time, but as soon as possible.
No, actually, well, I can only tell you about this community here in Alicante. The situation is that you would not be able to apply for an appointment before the expiring date.
Yeah, no, we said this initially, and then I think somebody else was saying that you could, or it's worth doing it because it takes so long for the appointment to come up.
Well, the system.
You might as well just gamble.
You could apply. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try and search for an appointment. Don't do it. And don't get one before the expiring date because you're going to waste your journey to the Extranjero office. You always need to get it afterwards. So let me just clarify this for people. If you're a resident and you've been here, obviously, all this time, then you're about when it expires, you're going to be permanent. Now, the fact of you being permanent is the truth because you're being here. But it's like my ID card. The ID card expires, and I'm still Spanish, I'm still a citizen, but the ID expires. Well, this is exactly the same. The TIE expires, and you just need to renew it and say you're here. My ID, I mean, I could be here around the area or Spain without renewing, but you're going to have a problem now because the bank is going to block you. The bureaucracy, or you're going to the notary, they will not allow you to go to a notary that they don't know you with an expired DNI. Well, the TIE is exactly the same. Now, for those who do not have it, that doesn't mean they're not resident. That means that they need to update it. Now, what is the problem? They need to apply for the appointment. The appointment needs to be after the expiring date to get the permanente, right? And the problem is getting the appointments, and normally it's taking 2 months, 3 months, and in the whole region. So you could go to Denia, you could go to Torrevieja, you could go, different police stations because you don't get. The problem is we're not getting for the whole family in the same room, the same day, the same time.
No. Yeah, it's like getting seats on a plane together.
Yeah.
Take your chances. But this is the first time the renewals come up because, the 5 years on. Are they giving a bit of leeway, being a bit sort of softer with it this first time around? Well, it might give you a bit more time.
I mean, you wouldn't have a problem. The only thing is that, okay, I will go with my passport. I mean, people queuing in the airport in Alicante or their residents. Well, if it has expired, obviously the police might say, well, this is not valid. So this ID card's not valid. For example, if my ID expired, they don't allow me to travel. I mean, they don't, it's like your ID is not valid, so you need an ID to go, right? It's like your passport has expired. Well, this is similar, right? It doesn't mean anything is illegal, is that you might have issues and problems. When you go to the notary, when you go to the police station, when you go to the administration, you cannot go without an updated ID or TIE.
But the TIE, how long have you got? What was the time up until?
Everyone has
90
a
days?
different date.
Right.
Everyone has their own different dates because it depends on when they got it, when they swap
But
it.
how long after it expires? Is it like 90 days or something?
Technically,
is it a fixed time?
Technically, yes. Technically. But in reality, nobody is, because the system is not working.
Depends if you get the wrong policeman or not. Control.
I mean, at the end of the day, you wouldn't have this issue because you didn't renew it within the time limit. You know, that's not because you could only do it after the expiring date. Then you need to apply for an appointment. If they're not the one who are providing appointments, they're the one to blame.
Yeah, sure.
So they're not being difficult at all. And the fact that you don't even have it, that doesn't mean that you are illegal, because you're a permanent resident even though you don't have the ID card.
But worth sorting out and having a valid one, because the controls of the EES, the European Union, that's come in at Alicante now, Alicante Elche, for non-EU residents.
Yep.
The controls where you got to take some. I don't think it's everyone, but some will be taken aside. You got photos and fingerprints and all sorts. But if you have your TIE, if you're a resident, you can sail past them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is the only
like
way
an Irish
for you,
person. Yeah.
Correct. Is the only way to prove that you're a resident.
Yeah.
The other way around, if it did expire, you're a resident, but you're not able to prove it.
Yeah. You're right.
So that's the only document that allows you to prove what you say, that you're a resident. So I agree. If you don't have that, you'll go on a different queue.
Yeah. It makes it 10 times more difficult. Yeah. So what was the most popular sort of question that people were wanting to know yesterday?
The appointments.
Yeah.
Appointments. Because at the end of the day, what you need, obviously, is your passport, your old TIE. If you change the address, the new patron, you need to pay the police tax. You need to fill in the forms. And then you need to apply for the appointment. Now, the appointment is the issue.
Yeah.
Organising that. Plus, now you need another appointment to collect the TIE, the updated TIE.
Yeah.
So it's not straightforward, but I always say just speak to your lawyer, speak to the people that you trust, and they will organise that for you. I mean, we have in the office Connie and Tamsing. Actually, Connie is off at the moment, but Tamsing is the one who's taking all the questions about the TIE. She just helps all the clients, even on the telephone while they're there. So she gives instructions to everyone what they need to do exactly. It's pretty much like holding by the hand, you know?
Yeah.
And even though she doesn't go personally with them, she's on the other side of the phone. So there is not an issue. We are very used to this process, so...
Yeah, and presumably if you can make it, there are more appointments available in Alicante City rather than trying to do it at Denia. There's only a handful of places.
Correct.
Yeah,
I wouldn't stick to one police station.
No.
I mean, in general, just try to get anywhere in the province.
Right.
Because it's not an easy one. I mean, you might get one in Denia, but you know...
There's not as many come up there.
No.
Right.
So I think it's better to do a day off, drive off, have lunch, have a good time, a little bit of tourism.
A bit of sightseeing, have an away day to take your TIE appointment.
Yeah.
So that will be up to watch back. It's on your website.
It's already there.
Yeah, so payfairradio.com. But also, as I say, we did a little special that you can find on our YouTube channel. The link on the Facebook page there. I'll tell you what I wanted to ask is just about being a lawyer in Spain. I think they had a reputation at some point, especially in the United States, where... there were so many people going to law school, there weren't possibly enough jobs for them. So there was so many training that they weren't going to go on to be full-time lawyers. What's the situation in Spain, especially these days?
Well, it is a big variety depending on the time. If we're talking about 30 years ago, it was one scenario. Now it's a different scenario. Now there is not that many people that study, not that many people who wants to become a lawyer. And I was speaking to a private international law professor the other day who came to our office because they are offering training solicitors as well. And he was saying that it's a bit stable now, but they had a lot of low figures.
Right, so not enough people coming through.
Not going a lot. And something that was quite interesting, for some reason... they don't have that many students on Erasmus program from Spain that they're being abroad, and he's saying he doesn't know why. People probably are more lazy in that respect of traveling or going. That I was quite surprised for him to say that. I would have thought the other way around, that people will travel a lot within Europe and study in a lot of countries. But he said that is not the case. So I was quite surprised. But going back to your question, I don't think there are that many. We had a decade that we were a lot of people. But know every lawyer, because you are not really, you've got the degree, but then you have to do like another year in our practice.
Yes.
Like a training
You have to do your
program.
articles, as they say in the UK,
Yeah. And then here, after that, you could start training as a solicitor and a barrister at the same time. You could do both.
Okay.
You could do it. I mean, here you're entitled to be solicitor and barrister at the same time. That's the difference. In the UK is different.
But as you say, a lot of people get a degree, if it's a law degree, but they don't go on to do it. They'll use it to go into banking or some other
or company.
commercial.
A lot of people stay in the company. A lot of people stay in the banking sector. Some people will be sole practitioners. Some people join law firms, companies. So traditionally, it was an average. Spain used to have an average of 2 lawyers per office. That was the average that the Law Society gave us.
Right.
So in general, is a system where small law firms in general, except a few big ones.
Yeah, is the cost of it prohibitive? Is it expensive to do?
No,
no more than doing a regular degree.
No, what do you mean? Going to the university?
Yeah.
No, going to the university. I mean, I don't know how much it is now because I didn't ask for that price. But I remember in my days, it was 80,000 pesetas for a year, which was 500 euros
doesn't sound much.
per year for 1 year.
Right.
And I went to a public school in Alicante, so the Alicante public school was very good, and we did the Erasmus program, etc. Obviously, compared to United States universities, nothing.
No, sure.
It's nothing compared to what they charge over there. If you go into a private law school, obviously it's more money, but it's affordable. I mean, the ones that I heard in the United States, for example, is a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, not a lot of people, I mean, they study law, but they don't want to become a lawyer in the later stage. I think you have to have passion for that.
Sure. What about nationalities? Because it's a thing, certainly in Britain and in England, where maybe second generation Indians, a lot of the time, they want the kids to be a doctor or a lawyer, and they actually do go on to do it.
Right.
I don't know if you got a similar thing here, or whether it is Spaniards generally.
That was in the old days. Probably my generation was more about all our parents wanted us to study. I
suppose that's nothing new. Yeah, they do actually go through and do it. So,
at the moment, I think the mentality of parents is more do whatever you like. Do what if you enjoy doing something. More entrepreneurs, more different. I mean,
if you enjoy what you're doing,
correct.
It needs to be something. There is something in that, as long as it's going to make you some money at some point.
Yeah, that's right. They need to make a living.
Yeah, quite. I'll tell you what we'll do. Just one quick question about, because we were talking about it downstairs, about AI.
Yeah.
And someone's, consulted AI to do a legal case for them, and it came out a lot cheaper than hiring a lawyer. However, I don't know if I'd feel completely confident in doing that. How have you seen it going? Have you seen cases of this, instances?
I mean, there is already doctrine now that establish what... the number one thing is that you wouldn't be able to represent yourself for more than 2,000 euros claim or for a criminal case.
Right.
So... whether a lawyer is using artificial intelligence to do the claim, they need to be careful because it could be a template, but don't trust it 100% because you need a lot of human input in here. It could help you like any database.
Sure.
It could help you.
You have to look stuff up occasionally. I'm sure you consult books.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we all have the doctrine online and the sentences online, but the interpretation, putting them together, you need to be careful. There is a code from the Law Society, they established, obviously, it was released a few weeks ago. I didn't read it, but about how we should treat artificial intelligence for this.
Oh.
Yeah. But, I mean, the answer will be no. I recommend clients, if they have like you call it low court case, minor claims.
Yes,
yeah?
right,
You call it minor claims, yeah? Up to €2,000, I encourage people to do it themselves. They don't need to hire a lawyer. They don't need to hire
the small claims court it is.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
And they could go to the Denia court, which is the closest here, or they could go to Benidorm or Alicante, wherever is their jurisdiction. They go to the court justice, the room, and they ask. I mean, they will not be very helpful probably because everybody will be speaking Spanish and they will be doing their own cases and things. But you could speak to customer service in the building and you will ask what you want, which is pretty much lodging a claim with no lawyer, right? Then in this case, I might recommend probably anyone to try to do it themselves. Make it simple. You don't need a lawyer. There is no legal cost involved if you lost it.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then it's just between the plaintiff, which is you, the defendant, which is the person that is going to be sued. Let's say you're claiming because of damages. Well, then you could do it yourself.
Yeah, if it's pretty straightforward, clean cut, case.
I mean, but nothing is easy, but at least it doesn't cost you money.
No, sure.
You know, I mean, because it's not cost effective. If you're going to end up paying a lawyer, what the lawyer is going to charge you on an hourly rate is going to be probably more of what you're claiming.
Than a small claim, yeah, right.
You know, and we need to be clear.
Yeah. But anything more than that, it's not acceptable by the courts. But also, every case is different, isn't it? There's so many intricacies and little details.
Yeah.
But I guess, as we say, you consult, what do you call it, precedents and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so stuff like that you can ask for and look at.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you could always have the lawyer working for you. The artificial intelligence is a database, basically, and it goes up. I mean, it's very useful, but it goes as far as it could go.
Yeah.
You know, and
I bet you're one of those professions as well, a bit like a doctor, where someone comes along and says, yes, I know a bit about the law myself, and this, and this, and you're sort of thinking, here we go. Yeah. No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Just leave it to mean,
at the end of the day, people need to look after themselves and be careful. Because the law changes regularly, you need to very much be on top of everything, and you're the one to lose if it's a slippery field for you, and then you fail. Then I think it's always worth it. Go for a proper consultation, at least.
Yes.
And then take it from there.
Ignacio is here from Pellicer, Heredia, covering a bit about the TIE, which actually, just while we're still on that, had a question through, I'm not sure who it's from, and it was addressed to the wrong person as well, but I got it in front of me here, about where it's sort of valid to use. And they said a hotel hasn't accepted it. They insisted on a passport as a form of ID. They're told it wasn't official. But we don't think that's right.
Incorrect, because the specific law about the identification that the hotels needs to request is either a TIE or a passport if you're a non-European. So basically, I think that might be a misinterpretation from the people in the desk.
Might be a teenager working on the
Probably that could have been a problem, or a problem because the system did not have a room enough to fill in his only passport or DNI, probably
Spanish ID. Yeah.
So it might be, but to be honest, the TI is as official as a DNI. So it's the same size, is.
And as far as ID goes, it's probably got more on there than your passport with the thumb, fingerprint and all sorts. Everything's in there.
Everything is in there. Actually, the size of the DNA is exactly the same. If you see here,
it's exactly kind of credit card size.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be any issue, but you never know, because you could end up having somebody from that hotel What they could do, they could lodge a formal complaint, ask for formal complaints in the hotel about that if they don't have the passport. Or they could even ring the police as well, if necessary, or do a proper denuncia of that, because it's a legal document and they shouldn't give any issue on it.
They should totally take them to court for this, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're bothered, but maybe it had the passport with them. But yeah, I insisted on that, so I thought it was worth bringing up.
Yeah.
Because they are resident and they've got TI, Permanente.
Yeah,
so
TI is the highest you could ask for a resident in Spain from a non-European, because Europeans will never have a TI. So the TA is only for non-Europeans.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Even though pre-Brexit, you get a TI with the same rights than a European, but with a TI of a non-European. As
you say, maybe it was the software. I don't know if the numbers are any longer or shorter on the Spanish one than on a TIE. But if it's different amount of letters, you might not have the room to put the whole number in.
I think so.
Yeah, it could
probably is lack of gaps in the system.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Wants updating.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on residency and the like, this was something that came up, and I don't know how much it's going to apply to people, but it's about the non-lucrative visa, which is, as it sounds, you can come live in Spain, but you're not allowed to work.
Correct.
Okay. But after an amount of time, if you keep renewing, to get to 5 years, that changes.
Permanente.
But that changes, so you can actually continue with it and work.
Any visa after 5 years goes into Permanente, which is a permanent visa, and then you get all the rights and the same benefits that any Spaniard. So you after 5 years, you'll be able to work. Well, for example, non-lucrative visa. They don't allow you to work.
No.
So, but you only have two options: wait until 5 years, or just get a job and swap it and change it into a work visa. That's the other option you have. So you don't need to wait up to 5 years. You can swap it any time.
I see.
But you need to have a proper proposal from a job offer and change it in the Extranjero office.
That's interesting. I thought, because you're kind of on probation for a while, just to settle in the country, and then they can let you get on and work.
I always think it might be a good option to start, and we always do think it's better to start with a non-lucrative visa, then settle in, and then from there, see how it goes and change into a different type of visa, rather than asking for a work visa from the Spanish consulate from abroad, which they need to send everything to Extranjero of this, because they don't deal with that. The Spanish consulate only collects paperwork and sends it off to the Extranjero office in Spain.
The non-lucrative is a lot less complicated to apply for.
They deal directly.
Right.
And the non-lucrative visa, they deal directly from it, because it's a matter of compiling and complying with the requirements. Yeah.
Okay. And while we're on them, let's talk about the nomad visa. Is anything likely to change with that? Any changes or any of the visas coming up 2026? Any updates? You have to earn more or have more in the bank?
No, so far we are a bit stable with that. Golden visa disappeared. Now we are renewing for those who have got the golden visa renewals. That's acceptable. We have the digital nomad visa, so you could work remotely for a company and they allow you to work here. Or if it's your company, then obviously you set up another company here. You need to be self-employed of the company, and that's another option. Now, going to the Beckham law, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, applying for the special tax regime, that's a different...
Is that likely to disappear? Because all that was being challenged by a couple of places. I don't know if it's outside of Spain it was being challenged. Yeah,
the problem that... I don't know. I wouldn't know... I really don't know what happened in that area. But I think they are challenging in Spain because they had inspections. The tax office is very aggressive. And obviously it's not the same, 24% of a 600,000 euros than 50% pretty much, or 48% of, so we're talking about double.
Yeah.
And tax office goes heavily against that. Now, the only thing I could say to the audience is if they go for proper advice and make sure that you comply with the law, you shouldn't have any problem. Okay, I'm not sure whether these people were trying to find a way around it and on the grey areas, and now the tax office started saying no. I haven't dealt with any case like that, with an issue with all the Beckham laws that we have submitted to the tax office, and we've done a lot. So If you do it properly, you shouldn't have a problem. But just double check that you comply with every single requirement of the law. Yeah.
What was it, if you can explain it fairly quickly, what was he doing that was different? Sir David Beckham now, got knighted yesterday morning. What was, so it's...
From that time?
The company, what made it that specific law? Or the company or the assets are outside of Spain?
Yeah, now you could work remotely. Even, you don't have to work for a Spanish company. So you could work remotely for a abroad company. The difference between Beckham law, it had to be a Spanish company.
Ah, right, okay.
Right.
So like Real Madrid.
Yeah. Now you could work, and we get a lot of Americans as well working remotely about this specific situation. And at the end of the day, you could work remotely for a, let's call it, UK company or for a Spanish company. Okay. The only thing you need to do, one thing is getting the visa. One thing is applying for the special tax regime. You could still apply for one and not comply with the second, or comply with both.
I see.
You could still get a visa for a normal visa and not to have the benefit of the Beckham law. So that's possible.
I see.
The ideal is to get both.
Yeah. So the Beckham law, it would come with a visa as well. It's not got its own visa. It would come under the work visa or
the Beckham law is not only for visas. Is for anybody who's been abroad more than 5 years. Mm-hmm. So it goes down to Spaniards, Europeans, and non-Europeans.
But what visa would you need to come in and start applying that tax law?
For Beckham law, you don't need a visa.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No. For Beckham law, you could be Spaniard, that being away up to 5 years. You could be European, and you could be non-European with a visa. And then obviously you need a visa.
Yes, but which one would it be? Nomad visa, would that work, or a work visa?
Yes, or a work visa.
I see. Yeah, and it doesn't come with its own one.
Yeah, non-lucrative visa wouldn't apply because you cannot work.
Yeah. Okay.
But the rest of them, all the type of visas that allow you to work, comply with the Beckham law.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people just need the green card of European. Like a French person will be able to apply for Beckham law with their Residency.
Yeah, sure. We were talking about just being a lawyer earlier and maybe AI. Well, good luck getting ChatGPT to handle your big criminal cases, especially because they go on, don't they? This extradition one, is this the same one that we've talked about before?
Yeah, I'm still dealing with that case. The problem with the extraditions is very, very likely that the countries don't want to get involved much on it. And then, in general, a percentage of extradition Spain will accept, in general, to be extradited.
Extraditing someone out of Spain?
Yes. Yes. You have the two ways around. The two options. Spain asking another country to bring the citizen or the person into Spain, or the other one, arrested in Spain, because somebody is asking for them to go to court in a different country.
Yes, yeah.
In general terms, we have dealt with the second part, which is the extradition, people being arrested here and being requested to go to a different country for some cross-examinations or probably to serve a sentence or just to enforce a sentence. This special case is only dealt in Madrid because it's the Audiencia Nacional, which is the specific criminal court for it. And then you deal with the public prosecutor, the just coordinator of the different country, according to the treaties that Spain has with that country. And they do the accusation, then you need to contest it. And then you have a hearing. And on the hearing, they will decide whether they will accept the extradition or they will not accept. If by any reason they accept it, you've got the possibility of appealing within 3 days into the main room of magistrates, which are 12. And the same criminal room will not deal with it. It will be like the plenarium or the magistrates, the hall. And after that, you'll have to go through it, or the only option you have is to probably, if there is any breach of rights, fundamental rights, even take it to the European Court of Justice, or just you'll have to face going to that country, obviously have a lawyer over there waiting for you, and then you defend yourself about whatever you're being charged of. So
presumably most people will sort of appeal or try and find something, because once you put that in, it gets delayed a lot longer, and they're allowed probably to stay in the country while that's being dealt with.
You've got two options. You've got the option, because the number one is you get the arrest warrant, and then you have to contest that, and then you'll be on bail or not. If you're on bail, then it's easier for you to defend the case. But as I said, is not an easy thing, because percentage they accept, saying, okay, well, I'm not going to argue, just go to your home. Especially if you are, for example, if you're British, they will allow you, if you're British, going to the UK, right? However, if you're Spaniards, then it's more difficult. I mean, a UK asking a Spaniard to go there and for a criminal court case is a bit more difficult. So, I mean, there is a specific objections on the extradition, and then you need to contest on time, and they will discuss it whether yes or no. But one of the reasons that they might not accept the extradition is you being a national of Spain.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So let's say UK is requesting me to go to the UK for a trial. Spain might say no because I'm Spanish, and then I should face whatever here.
Yeah, in your own country. Right.
So that's another option you have. Yeah, and we've been dealing with another one as well.
It's not like the old days, is it? It wasn't that long ago. There wasn't an extradition treaty, and they're all hiding out on the Costa del Sol for informant and all those. But it came in soon after.
Yeah,
but it was a place of refuge. Couldn't take them back.
Yeah,
they did, one or two they did manage to. But,
Costa del Sol is a busy one. It is a busy one.
Even now, yeah.
But yes, I enjoy it, and we try our best to defend our clients the best way possible. And I have an ongoing case, and hopefully I could come and tell you whether we're successful eventually or not. But at the moment, we're still fighting here.
Yeah, right.
So that's on the criminal side, the one that is putting my mind onto.
Sure, because especially if you have to go to Madrid now and again. Yeah.
Nowadays, it's pretty good to go to Madrid. You could get the.
You can get on the AVE, can't you?
On the AVE. So
Alicante,
what I normally would do would be get the AVE 7:30 in the morning, and then probably you will reach Madrid about 9:50, and then we'll agree on the hearing at 10:30 or 11. So probably extradition wouldn't take more than an hour, and then you'll get the next train back, which is 2:00. So
fine.
So it's a very pleasant 2 hours.
Yes, it's a good way. Yeah, easy way to do it these days. Yeah,
especially if you go, it's a hop on, hop off. Basically, you go Alicante train station, then you go to Madrid Chamartín, and then taxi and straight on into the court. So
Yeah. No messing about.
Yeah.
All right, so just about out of time. I don't think there was anything else we needed to cover, was there? Have you got any more webinars planned, or will you tell us nearer the time?
No, we haven't planned yet, but Pedro and myself, we passed the exam of financial advisors.
Oh, is that a recent thing? Sorry, you did mention that. So
and obviously it's very good for us to have the knowledge, because there is so much advice and so much on everything, that we thought it will bring a lot of value to the equation, being a lawyer and having the knowledge as well, and the license,
Sure, because you do, we talk about taxation quite a lot.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so if you're dealing with that,
that's correct.
You can say, look
well, at the end of the day, it's more value to the client, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And you could always have an opinion, independent opinion, because we're independent,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably the next webinar we're going to talk is going to be about wealth tax and investments, And I really encourage people doing simulations, Moody. I mean, the best thing you could do is, I think it's worth it, book an appointment with either us or whoever you trust, and do proper simulation. Don't ask Bob in the bar anything. Is how much is it going to cost me this situation? And then we could do specifics. I mean, I'm going to earn X amount of money. I'm going to withdraw these investments. I'm going to just cash it in, or I could cash it in. I'm going to sell my property in the future. How much would it cost me? So that's the question. How much would it cost me X situation?
Because sometimes if you cash something in, it can cost you quite a bit in taxes.
I wouldn't do anything without planning because it's, you could always get that figure, Moody. You could always get that and then you have the answer. Don't do the other way around. Don't do it and then pay the tax. Just be aware first how much you need to pay. And if that works for you, then go and cash it or take whatever. So, yeah, we'll plan to do a webinar about different products. And it depends on clients, depending on their age and the risk exposure that they want to be in. But with conservative bonds, I mean, at the end of the day, you need to know about inflation. You need to know about how much they're going to pay you. What is the risk involved? What guarantees, if they go bust, do you have? That's one of the questions I will always make. I mean, if that goes bust, where do we go from there? That will be one of my number one questions I will make to the fund. So it's a lot to learn, Moody. I mean, especially that a lot of companies went into liquidation, and
especially if you're talking about across two countries as well, cross-border financing, compliancy. Yeah,
I really think people should have peace of mind. Put their mind to rest on in a worst case scenario, because if it's all your savings, you need to be very sure where you stand. And I think that's important, Moody.
So that's to come. Yesterday's, as we say, if you still need anything clarifying about your Brexit TIE that may come up for renewal, it's all there on the website, paytheredia.com. Or as I say, to chat with yourself a few weeks back on our YouTube channel. The link is on the Facebook page. Thank you. We'll speak to you or someone in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah.